Whew, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled The Useless Man Myth. So I was at work joking. Me and coworkers joke. But one particular lady was like, y'all ain't good for much anyways, a wallet and maybe sex, but most of y'all can't find the G spot. Y'all don't know where a G spot is. And I was laughing, joking with her. I was like, don't get mad at me because I'm a geologist and your man not, But there has been an overlying theme for a long time that men are useless. And though we were joking, there was some seriousness to what she was saying because she meant some of what she was saying. But she good peoples. But I thought about making a video out of it because I've been hearing that for years. Like men are, and it's not just feminist rhetoric at this point. It's becoming like it's normal rhetoric that as a man you hear from women. Like men are just useless and good and not good enough. And the crazy part about it is, why I say it's a myth is because for us men to be so useless, women sure do know how to blame us for not doing things for them. So if I'm useless and you're useful, you don't need me. Like I don't hear men saying things won't be able to get done in their lives because of women. As a matter of fact, the men that say, if there are men who will say that, let me get this. But other men like, dude, women ain't holding you back. So, but it's a valid, it's like a, not a valid argument, but it's a constant talking point for women that, men are constantly doing something to hold them back. At the same time, men are not worth much. So, if men were just a wallet, right, and we were just money, and women, because I know a lot of women who think it's okay to use men for money, but men can't be useless and buffoons and fools, but you're at their mercy because you're complaining and whining if they don't give you their money or let you live a certain life off of their money, which is really their time and their effort, right? Their sweat equity, the benefits of their sweat equity, right? You're not gonna hear men like, I can't believe she didn't take me to the game. You're not a real woman if you don't take me to the game. I'm trying to see CP3 and James Harden tonight. You selfish. You've been working overtime all these 2 weeks and you ain't got no money to take me to the game. You trifling, no good woman. Like, you're not going to hear that, right? It sounds crazy, but there are double standards between the genders. You don't see women building buildings and homes and clearing land to build something on, but they'll say men are useless. Like until we don't see women doing underground utility work and overground utility work, and it's like this useless thing is getting out of hand because when you leave women to their own vices, we would like to see what y'all get done. And then, unfortunately, when you interact with women nowadays and you ask them, well, what do you bring to the table? What is your function? What are you useful for? And far too many say their presence, which makes it different because if men are useless, but your presence is somehow enhancing life, then in most ways it sounds like you're faking it until you make it, but you want somebody else to do it because if you have the skills to pay the bills, you're not going to say your presence is is what you bring to the table. You're going to say your skills are. So it becomes a problem because when men get with women, even if the women complain and say these guys are good for nothing, in some ways most men look at it as projection because, you know, it looks like women have taken on the idea that they need to be more manly and masculine, and women are never going to beat men at masculinity or manhood. I don't care if you make more money than a man. You're never going to beat a man at being a man. You know, and that's the issue. Because even when women make more money than guys, and I'm the man, I run this relationship. Okay, well, if you blow out a tire in the middle of the night in a rainstorm, get out and change the tire, man. Then it's wait, but I'm not going to get my hair wet. You know, that's what I mean by the useless man myth. Like, men, like, when I'm at work, I don't wear hats. You know, reason I wear hats a lot of times, because I always wore hats as a kid. They got stolen from me or taken when I was in school and all that other stuff. But ultimately, it's because my head gets cold fast because I'm bald. That's it. If the sun's outside, cool. You know, but when the fan's moving and stuff, my head gets cold. But I'm not going to call into work because of that. Like, I'm having a bad bald day and I can't work today. You know, no. But I know women who do that. I can't really work because my hair. Man, everybody got time for that. You know, my functionality and what I bring to the table as a man is far beyond my hairstyle, right? And men don't have the option to say I'm having a bad hair day or I need to get my nails and my feet done before I feel comfortable enough to do some work, or let me take an hour to look at my outfits so I could feel fly when I get to work, and when I feel fly, we ain't got the time for that because we actually have a function. We have to do something useful. And, you know, even when it comes to parenting and fatherhood, you know, the useless man myth spreads into parenting. And what do we hear now? Where the fathers at? Where the men at? These kids need guidance. These kids need their dads in their lives. This is after years of doing all you could to keep these kids' fathers out of their lives, and saying that these kids don't need fathers. You know, the whole I'm the mother and the father kick, right? So if men were so useless, why turn around, you know, and have this, well, these kids need men in their lives. I thought the men were useless. But now, you know, it says that maybe you're not as equipped for the job as you said you was. And instead of saying I'm not equipped for this, you're just going to turn around and say a man needs to do it, which becomes a problem because once you say a man is useless, but he needs to do it, you also say you ain't good enough to do it. So you can never call somebody else useless when you don't have anything to bring to the table to actually fix the situation. So if these useless men have solutions, what a lot of men are asking is, you know, what solutions are these women bringing to the table? What can they actually fix? What can they actually maintain? What can they actually build? What can they actually cultivate? You know, and unfortunately, this is why even with some MGTOW and like, excuse me, and Tom Likas would say women are useless in some ways because this last, I would say 20, 30, 40, 50 years, women don't know how to bring anything to the table towards men. And that lets me know as a man that you have really fallen off when the majority of the female population actually doesn't know what to do in a relationship with a man, or just to how to interact with a man, or what to bring to the table when you're dealing with a man. So you don't know how to be a teammate or a helpmate, and you're raised this way, right? So it becomes a problem because if these useless men disappear, go MGTOW. When useless men go MGTOW, women crumble. But the men, they focus on building, and the women find themselves trying to work their way back into these quote unquote useless men's life and comforts. But when these women who say they got it all together, when they're left to show and prove how much they got it together, they fail. So until you can succeed without men, because a lot of times you have women who are outsourcing masculinity, like I talked about a long time ago. And when you're outsourcing this masculinity, you're really lying when you're saying these guys are useless, because the guy that you're dealing with this particular situation in its context, he's useless for this, but you're calling another man up to do it. It's not like you're doing it on your own. You're just talking crazy to this one guy when you're calling another guy to do it. So the guy you calling useless doesn't have that skill, but you call a guy who does. And it can be vice versa, because if you ask this guy to do something that he's not prolific in, and you call him useless, and then call back this guy that you said was useless at first to actually do that. So to me, it's always a myth, because men are so vast in skill set that we're putting the women to shame. And women are so lost that they don't even know what their skill set is supposed to be, let alone actively participating and showing their skills, So that's just my thoughts on that. I'm going to get out of here now. Y'all have a good night. Peace.